Hey everybody, D here at DayLate Gaming, and today I'm going to be playing some Ark Survival Evolved on the Ragnarok map. Now, I've been wanting to play this game I've been wanting to do a Let's Play on this for a while, and I actually started filming one the other day, and I was going through and checking the footage, and my PS4 wasn't recording it right. I don't know why, but when every couple of videos, the footage would just skip and cut out several seconds, and I have no idea why. And it did it on multiple videos, which was really frustrating, and I was getting on messing around with it. I don't know why it's doing it, but I tried making a couple other videos, just like random BS videos on other games, and it was doing it on all of them. So I wanted to film a Let's Play, not a ride-along on Ark, because there's a lot of like off-camera stuff that needs to get done, and I don't want to be constantly hopping on and off, so I'm going to try and figure out how I'm going to do this. But I really wanted to play this. I really wanted to do a video, you know, some a Let's Play ride-along on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump in and do one. Now I'm playing on, as I said, Ragnarok map. It is my favorite map to play on so far. It's the one I've had the most luck with, as opposed to the other islands. Well, as not the other islands, the other maps, excluding the island. My settings are tweaked slightly, as you can see. I got a few random things tweaked a little bit. The only thing that's really drastically tweaked is my crop decay speed. But I do have things like when I add a level to some of my stats, I get a bit more than you normally would. And I am playing with single player settings, so that means my dinosaurs are going to be OP'd. I thought about going through and tweaking the settings and turning them down, but I don't have the time that I would like to have to put into this game. So I don't have time to deal with breeding and everything like that, take on some of the bosses and caves, and so I need my dinosaurs to be stronger than what they should be, unfortunately, because of that. Let's see. And the other settings I have tweaked is resource gathering. I am going to be gathering about almost double the amount that you would normally get. And again, that's because I'm trying to film this, and I'm trying to cut down as much off time. I'm trying to cut down as much boring stuff of me just standing there gathering resources as I can. So that's why I increased that. And then I think I increased how fast I level up. Not by much, but that's just to help with the help minimize the grind. And again, that's just to help move the ride along on, so that it's not me just standing around gathering resources most of the time. I don't believe there's anything else to add, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right in and get started. Excuse me. Whew. Now, I'm a borderline noob at this game, and one of the main reasons, but I just really love this game. It's a lot of fun. One of the reasons I'm kind of doing this is because I originally thought that with Ark, it was a multiplayer-only game. So I'm kind of doing this to show other people out there on the PS4 that it's not a multiplayer-only game. You can play this game on single player. You just got to mess with things a little bit. Now, I'm not going to go through and show you each individual settings and what they do or anything like that. Most of them are self-explanatory. And even as you scroll through them, like when you stop on one, it'll have a little window that pops up, and it'll say how that affects it. Like turning this up affects it by percentage, how much damage you do, or how much resources you gather, or how much health something has. You know, so it'll say something like that. It's pretty self-explanatory. Um, that's Popeye looking dude. Yeah, none of those would do. They're all freaky looking. Let's restore defaults. Ah. Excuse me, man. Sorry. It's a bit dank. Wow. It's a bit damp and rainy out today. And it's just got my allergies going all crazy, and I just cannot stop. Yeah, blood red eyes. Why not? Yeah, I'm not really gonna mess with anything. Let's see. Leave him how he looks. Let's give him just a random name. Jake. Wait, no, not Jake. Bob. It's a random. It's just random Bob. Alright. Now, for starting location, we're going to be starting at Jungle 1. From what I found, it's one of the best places to start. It is truly the... every time I've spawned in on this spot, I have not had a hard time. Watch this time I'm going to. But, not anything dangerous. It's a very resource-rich area, and it's not far away from a great place to set up your first little camp. That you could expand into an actual base if you want. I've heard of people using that area for their main base. It just depends on what you want to do. Now, of course, this is not a guide. I do have like tips tagged in this video. It's just with a few little pointers I've learned while playing on the PS4. By no means am I going to tell you this is the best way to do it, which is probably going to tell some people, or deter some people, and they're just going to hit the power button or stop button and just go back to something else. But I'm being honest, I don't know the best way to do things. I know what my way, from what I've found just from experimenting and trying things, and from watching a few other Let's Plays, some things that they've passed on to me, what I learned from them. So that's how I'm going to do things. Yeah, I'm really sorry. I'm going to take some medicine here in a second. If I could find some. I thought I had some Claritin here, and I cannot find it. Son of a... really hope I'm not out. Nope. There it is. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. This is not a good way to start a video. Alright, just took some Claritin, so hopefully that'll kick in soon, and I'll be good to go. But alright, as I said, we're going to start off at Jungle 1. Going to be playing with Random Bob, who's got blood red eyes, is always angry. I don't know why, he just is. And as you can see on the map, I have done some exploring. In case you don't know, your map, every time you play the map on a certain map, or every time you play, that map fills in bit by bit. Now, even if you wipe that whole that file and start over from scratch on that map, when you load in on that map again, any areas you've previously discovered will be colored in or filled in on your map already. So you can see those are all the areas I've already been to. Ragnarok so far has been one of the most interesting maps to me. in its own way, but we'll get to that later. Let's go ahead and just create new survivor and get started. Alright, welcome to Ragnarok. Now, whenever you select... I thought compies were coming at me already. Whenever you select Jungle 1, you're always going to spawn in at about this location. You might be off by a few feet. Like, I've been spawned in directly underneath this little hole, but it's always going to be... Oh, are you serious? One of them stupid bird things is attacking me. Yeah, we'll get to those bird bastards in a minute. God, I hate those things so much. They're helpful if you can get one tamed, but I hate them so damn much. But you're always going to spawn in on this area. This little out rock formation. Oop. There's another one. What I always do when I first spawn in on this area is look for this little formation over here. It's usually to my left. Or you're gonna come out. You're gonna follow the beach along here. You'll know you're going the right way because there'll be a beacon right there. Just put that towards your back and just start going forward. And then as you're going forward, look towards the ground, look towards the bushes, and hit triangle. The great thing about Ragnarok is there's a lot of resources just laying on the ground that you can gather without having to punch trees and stuff like that. You can literally gather everything you need within the first few minutes without punching a single tree. And you can see I already leveled up. Your first few levels come in pretty quick. Now, I did mention that my levels were tweaked, so my settings were tweaked, so I'm going to level up a little faster than you normally would. I can't remember how much I tweaked it, but it wasn't much. It's like 1.5 about. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, keep following the beach along as you're going. You know, just keep gathering stuff, looking down. When you see a bush, stop and gather it with triangle. You want to run. Don't worry about leveling up just quite yet. You want to keep gathering some stuff. And you want to keep an eye out for any other dinosaurs moving around. Most dinosaurs in this area are passive, so they're not going to hurt you and you're going to be okay. But you will come across compies, some dillos, and those birds are usually the most dangerous thing. Now, if you're unlucky, you can come across some raptors or T-Rexes or a Therizinosaur. I have seen them spawn in over here, but it's highly uncommon. Come on. Can't gather that one for some reason. Probably because of that tree that was in the middle of it. You see this little turtle dude up there? As long as you don't hit him, you're good. The turtles will attack you, but only if you attack them. And they'll attack you in groups. If there's another one around, he'll come over to help his buddy out. But this is the area you're aiming for if you're going to follow along with me. This little beach here, that little outcropping right there where it rises up, it's a great little spot for setting up your first base. Hold on a second, sorry. Okay, I thought I had sneeze coming, I didn't. But yeah, that little outcropping right there is a pretty good first base or camp spot to set up. It's not peninsula. I can't think of the word for that formation, but it's got a natural little ramp up right here, leading up to it, and on all sides, steep wall. A very, very large creature might be able to climb up certain sections of this. Oh, there's a dillo. But for the most part, nothing will. You should be relatively safe up here. And then as you get to a few more levels, you can actually build in some walls and some gateways across this ramp here, and nothing will be able to get up in case you get chased by raptors or something like that. Plus, there's also plenty of drinking water right there, plenty of resources, trees, bushes, and you got an ocean right over here behind your back in case you need it. Let's see. Oh, also, what I like about this location, and right over there on the other little outcropping next to me, loot crate will drop on occasion. So it's really nice to be right here because then you can get free gear and stuff like that. But alright, so I've been holding off leveling. Oh wow, I leveled up 3 times already. uh, let's see, what I always focus on at first is weight. Let's see, I'll get to why I focus on weight in a second. First thing we learn is our campfire, stone hatchet, spear, cloth pants, shirt, and a hat. Yeah, let's go ahead and do start with the thatch stuff, and I'll get the cloth gloves and boots in a second. Excuse me. Now you want to skip the cloth boots and drop all that crap. The cloth boots and the cloth hat at first because, like I said before, my settings are tweaked just a little bit, so I'm going to level up faster than you normally would. But if you're leveling up a little slower, the boots and the hat need hide, and when you first start off, you're not going to be able to get the hide right away. So you want to focus on getting the shirt, the pants, and the hat. Because you don't need, sorry, I'm having a brain fart. You don't need hide to craft those. You only need fiber. Now, one of the first items you're going to craft is that pick right there. The pick is what you gather when you're just looking at the ground, gathering things. You just need a little bit of wood, a little bit of thatch, and a little bit of stone. Everything you can see on the ground. And then once you get your pick, beat up on the first stone around you. You don't need to do a whole lot at first. You just need to get some flint and some stone going. You want to go back over your crafting, and then once you can, you want to learn the stone hatchet. So we're going to go ahead and learn one of those. You drop it down in your hotbar, and then of course where you put them in your hotbar doesn't really matter. I always put those there first though. And then once you can, you also want to learn, let's see, the pants, the shirt, and the hat. And of course, again, those all take fiber, and fiber you get from the bushes. Alright, so we're no longer running around naked. Then the next thing you want to craft is some spears. That takes fiber, flint, and wood. And that's why I said you want to beat up on the first rock you see for a little bit. Because you're going to need, because you should have plenty of fiber from gathering it from bushes. You should have a good bit of wood. Excuse me, from gathering off the ground or from beating up trees. Now you need some protection from it. And when you're crafting a spear, you always want to craft at least 3 of them. Spears, they have a durability, but they break at random. I've gone against a level 100 Dillo and gone through 2 spears, but I've gone against 2 level 130 Dillos and only used 1 spear for the both of them. So they break at random, so you always want at least 3. And then, just like with the other tools, put it somewhere in your hotbar. And then, now when you do it like this, when you select it, if it breaks, when it breaks, you're automatically going to switch, you're automatically going to equip your next one. And this is why you want to have more than one on hand. Alright, so now, There was a Dillo over here. I was going to show you how to fight them, but I don't see where it went. Huh. He wandered off somewhere. Yeah, Dillos are typically one of the most dangerous things you're going to find on this section of the map. And they're not hard at all to fight. The only pain about them is that they can be in groups of 3. If they're in groups of 3, and you don't have any weapons on you, you're going to want to run. But, oh well. I'm not going to sit around and waste time. Night's coming. Which night isn't that big of a deal in this game. It's really, really not. It just gets incredibly hard to see. That's what makes it so dangerous. Now, when you're gathering resources, you need to make sure you're using the right tool. If you want wood, you use your axe on a tree. You can, as if you watch, you can see I got 38 wood and 8 thatch out of those few swings. I just go ahead and knock that tree down. Now, if I go to another tree and if I use my pick, look at that. I got 40 wood or 40 thatch and 8 wood. If you use your pick, you get more thatch than you do wood. If you use your axe, you get more wood than you do thatch. And that carries over into other resources. With stone, with rocks, if I want stone, I use my axe. If I want flint, I use my pick. And it even goes over into harvesting dinosaurs. If you kill a dinosaur and you want more raw meat, you use your pick. If you want more hide, you use your axe. Let's see, I leveled up again. Let's see, another bump to my weight. Keep doing the thatch doors and walls. I mean, before you learn these, you can learn cloth boots and gloves and the water skin. Nothing wrong with that. It's just I prefer skipping over them and learning these so I can get my little camp set up before. Or before nightfall. So now we need to, oops, my water's getting down. Yeah, there's some icons on the bottom right side of the screen stacked vertically. And they indicate your experience, your weight, your thirst, hunger, your stamina, and your health. All pretty self-explanatory. The only one that you want, in general, want to keep down low is the weight. The rest of them, you want to make sure they're full. With water, there's ways you can, you're going to learn things like water skins, water jars, canteens, things like that to help keep your water up that you can carry with you, or that can help keep you hydrated. And you can carry those items with you so you don't need to worry about while you're exploring. But early level, before you can learn those things, it's good to be set your camp up around a water source, which is, again, another reason I picked this location. And then with food, food's pretty easy. If you're ever in a pinch, or if you ever need food, you can just go up to a bush and start harvesting it, and you'll get berries from it. And then one berry gives you one food. So my food's at about 58 out of 100. So I'll just eat this whole stack. It's not going to hurt nothing. That's a stack of 47. They'll give me 47 food. That'll actually put me over full. You can't really beat... Oops, too much. Was looking down at the stats and not how much I ate. You can't go over full. It's not going to be like saturation or anything where you're going to be full or longer before it starts to drop. As far as I know, there's nothing like that. It'll just get you up to full, sit there for a second, and then start slowly going down depending on what you're doing. And it does depend on what you're doing. Your food drops off of because of your stamina, your health, and actions you do. So if you just stand there, your food will last longer. Now, when it comes to the berries, there's certain berries you do want to eat and you don't want to eat. You don't want to eat these black ones, the narco berries. It's a drug. It's a drug that you need to help you with taming. It knocks you out if you eat it. If you look at my stats at the very bottom, my torpidity, see how it's going up? Yeah, it went up by 7.5 from eating one of those berries. If it gets up to 200, not even 200, I think if it gets up like around 150, maybe it is 200. I can't remember which. But if it gets up too high, your character falls unconscious and just collapses. And you just lay there until it wears off and you wake up. Um, so you don't want to eat the narco berries because they're just going to hurt you. There's another one you don't want to eat. That's the stem berry. The stem berry dehydrates you, gives you the runs, and you poop your brains out, and it severely dehydrates you. Uh, so you don't want to eat those. If you see the white ones, just drop them. Uh, get them out of your inventory for now. Now, you're also going to be picking up lots of seeds. Seeds, it's up to you whether you want to hold on to or not. For the most part, you only need a few. You only want to hold on to a few seeds. None of the berry seeds. Any of the berry seeds you get, you can throw out, except for the narco berry seed. That's the only one you want to hold on to. The rest of them, you can just throw away. Because you only want the vegetable seeds for your farm, which we're going to do later. So let's see. Alright, yeah, so now we're going to start working on our base a little bit, and we'll go over some of the other stuff more in depth later on. Alright, so right now, if you look at the very top of the screen, it will say Craft 1, Craft All, and Craft 3. Right now, I have enough resources to craft 3 of these thatch foundations, which isn't going to be enough for what I want to do, but almost. Oh, it's actually about half. Um, So again, you can hit triangle to craft all or square to craft 3. Um, Triangle is always craft all, up to 100. If you can make anywhere from 6 to 100 of whatever item, because of how much resources you have, it'll say craft all. Then it'll tell you how much. Square is always craft 3, or is always craft 5. It crafts in groups of 5. If you can't craft 5, it'll say whatever amount of number you can craft up to 5. So it'll say 4, 3, 2, or 1. And then R2 is craft 1. I want 6 of these thatch foundations, so I'm gonna go ahead and craft all 3. And then I need more of everything. And then I'm gonna keep gathering more resources. Now, as you're crafting things, you can still walk around, you can still fight, you can harvest. You can't run, but you can drink, you can eat, all that stuff. You just move at a much slower rate, or much slower speed. Like right now, I'm actually encumbered. I'm carrying too much, so I can't move around a whole lot. But let's go back to crafting. I need a lot more thatch. Okay, I got too much wood. That's one reason why I'm so heavy. Go ahead and oops, wrong button. So that's 4. Yeah, just go ahead and drop that for right now. I need a little bit of speed. Alright. Now, thatch doesn't weigh much, so you can gather a lot of thatch without weighing yourself down and without slowing yourself down. What was that noise? I don't know what the hell that noise was. So now we got plenty of thatch. Let's go back to crafting. Wait, how much did I have? 4? Yeah, so I just need 2 more. So 5 and 6. And then I'm gonna want to I craft 2 door frames, the front and back door. 2 doors for each one. And then I'm gonna need a lot of walls. So after that, just dump everything into your walls. And I'm gonna start slowly trucking my way on up there. Now I might have to drop something again. It says I'm encumbered, which is odd. I should be losing weight as I craft things. I keep hearing something, but I think I'm just being paranoid. It doesn't make any sense. Alright, so let's go ahead and drop this stone for a second. That made a bit of a difference. I'm still pretty slow, though. I'll come back and I'll grab that stone in a minute, along with that wood I dropped. But I mean, yeah, like most other crafting games, the raw resources you get, you're gonna weigh you down and make you really heavy. But then as you go, as you make things, you know, you lose weight. So I should be weighing less than what I am. I don't know. Well, yeah, I am carrying with 36 pounds just in foundation. Alright, I leveled up twice again. Now, I put my first few stats. Alright, so now let's go ahead and learn the cloth boots, water skin, the ceiling. Alright, so I learned all the cloth stuff. I learned most of the thatch, or all the thatch stuff. The next one I want to learn is, oh no, I need to learn, yeah, the hide sleeping bag. And next would be the storage box. Alright, so now let's go ahead and put this stuff down. Now, you don't have to put the structures down in your... Woo, why? In your hotbar if you don't want to. I simply do it just... Or I'm doing it because I'm laying down so many of them. It's just a convenience. Makes it a little faster than having to... Oh, I'm still sprinting. It makes it a little easier than having to load up your inventory, go over to your, let's use my door for example, use my door, and I can press R2, and it'll let me place one of them down, and then having to go back to my inventory and select the wall again, so I can place another one down. When I have it down my hotbar, you know, just bam, quickly select it, place with R2, select it, place with R2. There. Now I got all 6 of my foundation down in a quarter of the time it would have taken me to place it down if I was selecting my inventory. And by rule of thumb, I only do that if I have more than 3 items I need to lay down of a certain item. Like my wall, like the doors, I'm not going to worry about because I only have 2 of them. But my walls, I am going to craft, or I am going to use it because I have 6 of those I'm putting down. Alright, as you can see, night is almost here, but it's no big deal. Like I said, the nights aren't really anything to worry about. We just need to go down. What is that? Oh, it's an Oviraptor. Okay. Yeah, sometimes this little guy over here will be running around. It's an Oviraptor. They're not dangerous. Oops. They're not dangerous. It like screams at you and takes off running. And it's labeled as an enemy, but it's not hostile towards you. I don't know what its deal is. I've never really messed with the Oviraptors before. Did that wood I dropped disappear? Yeah, I think it did. I don't see a little package around. Oh well, it's no loss. Alright. So let's go ahead and gather a bunch more thatch. And let's gather up a bunch more wood. Which should be enough to craft all the walls I need. Let's see, because I need 1, 2, 3. That's nowhere near enough. Okay, that's 3. That's 5. I still need 3, 6, 8. I still need 8 more. What do I need more of? More fiber. Wow. And it's cool because it'll tell you what you need more of in the menu when you're looking at it. Like when you go over towards it. Like, hold on. Like, yeah, here. If you just let the cursor sit on it, it'll show you on the description of the item, how much it weighs, what it does, and everything. And then it'll tell you the items you need, or resources you need. Fiber, you need 45 fiber, you need 6 hide. I don't have hide, so it's red. So it's a good thing. Now, if you're making a bunch of them and you fall up short, it'll take all of them out of the like, it's hard to explain, man. If I have like 100 fiber and I start in a bunch of other resources and I craft up a bunch of things, it'll take all the resources you have out of the equation immediately, and then it'll show you what you're short on instantly. I thought it did. Yeah, it'll show you what you're short on. 5. That was 6 and 7. So I need one more. Need a little bit more fiber. Alright, as you can see, nights here. When you're out in the open like this, it doesn't get that dark. I've also got my settings tweaked so it's not as dark as it usually is. But you can still see okay, or fairly well. Now, when you get up into the woods and stuff, it literally gets pitch black. It's almost impossible to see. If you're going to be in the woods at night, you have to have a light source, a torch, or whatever. You have to. I mean, even inside my own little hut here, it'll get incredibly dark once I put a roof on. Now, normally by now, I would already have this set up before night, but stopping and explaining things as I go, it's obviously slowed me down a little bit, but it's no big deal. Now, you don't need to make your first little camp this big or this tall. I do because we're gonna be here for a little while, so we're gonna want a little bit of room, and also because if it's one floor high, it feels incredibly claustrophobic in here to me. Like, it's just a very cramped, crappy feeling. So I want to keep it up. I want to make it bigger so I don't feel so claustrophobic. And let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead back to the engrams. You can go to the screen anytime you want. It's just when you bring up your menu, use options and the touchpad to scroll left and right through your the menu. Now, I need to learn the storage box first. Normally, I would learn the sloped thatch wall, left, right, and the sloped thatch roof. But I'm moving at a bit of a faster pace. Or I'm doing things a little differently than I usually do. So I want to get that down. Oh, what do I need? More thatch. But I want to go ahead and I need a lot more thatch and fiber, so I'm just going to go ahead and gather some more of that. I'm doing things a little differently this time. Come on. There we go. Alright, that should be plenty of fiber. And then I usually sprint everywhere because I'm a little impatient. And also, like I said, this requires a lot of just gathering resources, which can be a little boring. So I'm sprinting everywhere to help try and speed things along. You gotta be careful with that though, because it really drains your food and stamina constantly if you do that. So just be careful about that when you're playing. Let's see, I just need one for now. And alright. Yeah, so I need one for now. Let's go ahead and get a drink of water while I'm down here. head back up to camp. We'll set the chest down. Now, I was tossing down some resources earlier, but in the early parts of the game, you don't want to throw away any resources. You need all of it when you're first starting off. Later in the game, you're gonna use dinosaurs to gather and harvest and everything, and you're gonna be gathering things like crazy. And you're gonna be like, oh, stacks of thatch and wood. I mean, whole stacks of it. I don't need it, and just throw it away, because it's just a inconvenience. Let's condense the screen down a bit. You can drop that. Now the narco berries, I said you don't want to eat them, but you want to hold on to them too. Don't get rid of your narco berries because you're going to need them. Let's go ahead and drop that off. I think that's it. I think I'm good for now. Come on, bring me menu. Yeah, the game's pretty laggy. There's times when you hit the button for things to load and it just doesn't. I'm not sure. It's just kind of laggy. Let's see. Food's at 32. We've got a stack of... I'll just eat this whole stack. Now, the good thing about berries is, unless it's the stem berry, berries also hydrate you a little bit. Not a lot, but a little. Oh, and I forgot to mention, the purple one, the measure berry. You don't want to eat that one either. It's good for you. It's not going to make you sick or anything like that. But it's really... Or it's the main way you're going to be taming dinosaurs at an early level. So you want to gather all of it that you can, and you're going to need a lot of it. You want to gather all that you can, and you just want to hold on to it. Man. Alright, let's go over here and look for an animal to kill. Now again, I've got my settings tweaked a little bit. There's that dillo from earlier. I've got my settings tweaked a little bit, so when I'm taming a dinosaur, I don't need as much food, but especially for for high level dinosaurs, you need a lot of. If you're using measure berries, you need a lot of them, like several hundred for some dinosaurs. What happened to it? Oh, there he is. All right, now these are dillos. That's cool looking. Dillos, like I said before, aren't that dangerous. They can get pretty dangerous if they're in groups. Oh, you saw me. The main thing about them is keep walking backwards. They're not as fast as you. Or they are faster than you if you're walking backwards, but that's okay. Oops, damn it. I walked into the bushes and missed it. But when you have a spear out, as he gets close to you, you can hit him, and you'll push him backwards. And you can just keep poking him. You can keep him at bay. Oh, when he stops, he'll rise up, make a little noise, and you'll see his neck will pop out a little bit. He's going to spit at you. When he does that, you just sidestep. Immediately start sidestepping. He's going to spit acid at you. If it hits you, it's going to blind you and slow you down. So when you see him like puff up and rear up a little bit, instantly start sidestepping. Now you'll see the acid won't fly straight out of his mouth. It'll actually fly off at a crazy angle right at you, but it's not going to hit you. I've never been hit by it. So as long as you start sidestepping, you'll be fine. If you just keep walking backwards from them, it'll still hit you though. So you don't want to do that. But yeah, dillos very easy to handle. All right, so let's see. Now that we got a little bit of hide, let's go ahead and make some boots. And, oh, there they are. I was looking right over them. And some gloves. Add just a little bit more protection. There we go. Got a little bit more armor now. Still got a little bit of hide left over, which is good. We're going to need it. Always need hide. Yeah, like I was saying a few minutes ago, you're going to get to a point where you're just throwing resources away because you don't need them. Hide's an exception. You're always going to need more hide. especially as you find higher level blueprints, or especially when you find high level blueprints and everything, you're going to need a lot of hide to craft some of the high level stuff. Alright, so now I'm just going to keep gathering some resources. Because I'm getting ready to level up, and I'm going to learn. There it is. Nope, wrong button. Son of a. Whoops. Here we go. 3, 3. Done. Okay. Alright, so now we learned the sloped walls and the sloped roof. They're important to learn, so you need to learn them early. You need to learn them, but you don't need to learn them this early, but you need to learn them. They're important for building other things later on in the game that you're going to need to build to help with taming and stuff like that. So you want to learn how to make those eventually. Damn, need more fiber. Always fiber. It's usually the one thing I gather the most of, and I have too much of. This is the first time I've ever needed to gather so much fiber. Okay, this should be enough. That should be like, what, a couple hundred fiber? Where is it? Yeah, 124? Not a couple hundred, okay, but it should be enough. What kind of seed is that? Long grass seed, awesome, good, I need that. Throw the stem berry away. It's the azleberry, don't need. Okay, good. Alright, now let's go do some crafting. For the sloped walls, I need 2 of each, the left and the right. Then we need 6 sloped ceilings. Come on. Come on. 2, 1. Oh, not much faster. Yeah, so, one cool little feature is that, you know, as your weight increases, you'll start slowing down. So even though it won't tell you you're encumbered, you'll still slow down a lot if you're carrying a lot of weight. So that's something to keep in mind, is if you come across a dangerous dinosaur and you know you're carrying a bunch of weight and it's slowing you down, load up your menu and just start dropping stuff if you need to get away real quick. Let's see. There we go. Bam, there we go. Alright, that's all down. And then, I was right through that stone down earlier. Let's go ahead and break this rock up real quick. Alright, that should be good enough for the moment. Go back to crafting. Make a campfire. Just slap that down right about there. Let's put that in there along with that. light the fire. Now we got some meat cooking. We don't got a whole lot of meat, just 3 of them, but we got some meat cooking, which is awesome. Now I think I'm about gonna wrap this episode up because we have our house set up. We got a campfire going, cooking some food, and we are sustained. We got water, we got plenty of food with these bushes, with a few dinosaurs walking around. The beach has actually been a little empty this time around, which is odd. There's usually more dillos, a lot more, dodos walking around. So, it's been a little scarce this episode. Man, excuse me. But it's alright, you know, make it work. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Now as you burn wood, you're going to get charcoal. Do not throw the charcoal away. You need that. For now, just let it stack up in there, but you're going to need it. Well, actually, you can't let it stack up in there. Yeah, campfires only have 3 inventory slots. It's whatever fuel you put in, which you could put 3 fuel resources in there if you want. But typically it's whatever fuel, whatever meat, and then it's going to fill up with charcoal. You can have 2 stacks of meat. That's fine. Now, it will create more inventory slots. So, like, let's say I have 1 stack of fuel and 2 stacks of meat. As it goes, it'll create another inventory slot for the charcoal and 2 more inventory slot, or 1 more inventory slot for the cooked meat. But as the uncooked meat inventory slot becomes empty, it'll just condense everything down. It'll destroy one of the inventory slots. So you can have more than 3 in here, but you can't make more than 3. It makes more than 3 on its own and handles that. So just keep that in mind. Let's see. Let's get the meat. Let's get the charcoal out. Now, when you're accessing things that have an inventory system, there's always a triangle prompt, and it might be access inventory, light fire, ride creature, whatever. You can also press square if you just want to access the inventory. If you're looking at it and you're standing close enough, you just press square and you'll access its inventory. Anything that has an inventory but doesn't have and it has a triangle prompt, like for light fire, if you hold the triangle button, it'll bring up a radial with different options. Like for the fire, I can light the fire, I can access its inventory, or I can demolish that fire. Don't worry about the yellow filling up. It's just a warning, like, hey, are you sure you want to do this? Just a way of being like, hey, what are you doing, bro? But yeah, so get in the habit of using square to access inventories of items around you. It's easier. It's the easiest way. But I believe that's going to wrap it up for this episode. I try to keep my streams down to around 50 minutes to 50 to 70 minutes. 70's running on the long end, but the 50's a little short. But this is a good spot. We got like I said, we got a house set up, we got food, we got water, we got clothes, we got defense. We're good to go for now. So I guess in the next episode, we're gonna work on building up some more stuff, doing a little bit of grinding, and looking for our first tames. There are some staples that you need in this game, and they just make life a lot easier. So we'll start looking for those. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time. Let's go ahead and stop.